A train, a dark, rural stretch of tracks, and two teenage boys lying motionless in its path. It should have been a tragic accident, a simple case of two kids who made a fatal mistake. But when investigators started looking closer, the story didn't add up. Their injuries didn't match the impact. Their deaths didn't seem natural. And the more people searched for answers, the more they disappeared. Tonight, we expose the boys on the tracks conspiracy and the terrifying possibility that someone in power didn't want the truth to be found. The night it all began, August 23, 1987. Bryant, Arkansas. Two teenage boys, Don Henry and Kevin Ives, are found dead on the train tracks, their bodies mangled by an oncoming train. The official story? They had been smoking marijuana, got too high, passed out, and never woke up. Case closed, but something didn't feel right. Because the conductor saw them. The train blared its horn. The boys didn't move. They didn't react at all, as if they were already dead. The autopsy that changed everything. The first medical examiner, Dr. Fahmy Malak, ruled it an accident. Marijuana intoxication, that was the cause. But when an independent autopsy was performed, the truth came out. They weren't just high. They had been attacked. One of the boys had a crushed skull. The other had been stabbed. They weren't asleep when the train hit them. They were murdered. And the train was just a way to cover it up. But why? And more importantly, who was behind it? A web of corruption. Arkansas officials refused to reopen the case. They ignored the new autopsy. They blocked investigations. And Dr. Malak, the same man who called the deaths an accident, he had a history of covering up suspicious deaths. A medical examiner protecting someone. But who? And then, the rumors started that the boys had seen something they weren't supposed to. Something connected to drugs, smuggling, and a high-level criminal operation. An operation protected by people in power. The CIA drug connection. In the 1980s, Arkansas was a hotbed for drug trafficking. A key point on the smuggling route from South America into the U.S., and some believe that route was being protected. That certain people, government officials, law enforcement, even federal agencies, were involved. That the boys had stumbled upon a drug drop. And that someone powerful, had them eliminated. And if that's true, then the real killer wasn't just some random criminal. It was someone with the power to bury the case, to cover up the autopsy, to silence anyone who got too close. And that's exactly what happened. The people who knew too much over the next few years, more people started dying. Witnesses, investigators, anyone who spoke out. One witness claimed to have seen the boys being beaten the night of their death. Days later, she was found dead. Another man came forward with information about the case. He was later found shot in the head. Authorities called it a suicide, but the bullet was in the back of his skull. Was this a string of coincidences? Or was someone cleaning up loose ends? And if so, who was powerful enough to make this all disappear? The political connection, one name kept coming up in the investigation. Bill Clinton. At the time of the murders, Clinton was governor of Arkansas. And during his time in office, Arkansas became a key hub for CIA drug smuggling operations. Some believe Clinton, whether knowingly or not, was involved in a cover-up. That protecting the drug operation meant protecting the people behind it. And that meant no loose ends, no independent investigations, and no justice for Don Henry and Kevin Ives. If true, then this wasn't just a crime. It was a conspiracy at the highest levels. A case so explosive that no one dared to pursue it, because the people who tried ended up dead. The final question decades later, the case remains unsolved. Officially, it was an accident, but the evidence tells a different story. A story of corruption, a cover-up, and two boys who were in the wrong place at the wrong time. The train didn't kill them. Someone else did. And whoever it was, they got away with it. What do you think? Did Don Henry and Kevin Ives witness something they shouldn't have? Did someone in power order their deaths? Or is this all just another conspiracy theory? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and never stop searching for the truth. Because sometimes, the truth is buried deeper than we can ever imagine.